All right, here we are. I hope you guys like my background here. It's a little bit of a party, Hawaiian shirts. It's hot in my room. Another episode of Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk. Episode, what are we now, guys? 9?
Episode
Nine.
9.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we
Nine.
definitely beat the Airsoft Amigos now.
Yeah, Matt and Tim need to catch up.
Yeah, come on, buds.
It's all good.
Um,
It's all
you
good.
got
Nothing
me.
but love for those guys.
You got me as the moderator and host here. We got, let's go up here. We got, who's up there? Tack up there. Sorry, down there. Oh my god. See, I still get confused. It's the
all
Hawaii.
right.
It's the
Boy,
Hawaiian
don't
shirts.
worry.
It's the Hawaiian shirts. You got Mac at the top there.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And introducing one of our referees at Panther, we got Gavin. What's up, Gavin?
Hello. My name is Gavin, one of the senior referees at Panther.
Haha. You and Adam.
Yes. And Braden.
And Braden. Oh yeah, you guys.
Yeah, you guys have been there for a while
Yeah,
now.
you guys have been there for a while. Let's get right on to it. Like Gavin, you said you're the senior ref. How long have you been working for Panther now?
Since 2017.
2017.
Summer of 2017.
I've known you for that long. Wow, as well.
You've known me for a year longer than that, actually.
Oh, you were playing there
Yes.
for a while too.
Yes.
What got you into airsoft?
What got me into Airsoft? I think that was just wanting to play video games in real life, to be honest. I was paintball in the beginning. That was for like,
Okay.
I don't know, I was very short, 3 months, 4 months. And then it led into Airsoft very quickly once I got a job there.
Wow. And then 2017 is when you started, but you've been airsofting since when?
The summer leading up to my job.
Ah.
Very beginning of that summer, yes.
Okay, interesting. Do you guys have any questions for him?
Back?
Jack, it's for you, man.
Oh, okay. Well, what kind of guns are you into?
I like real looking guns. I like having GBBs. To be honest, those are my favorite guns. I had a Wii
Okay.
416
Hey.
GBBR. Yeah, Poi led me into that one. I have a CZ Shadow 2. That is my favorite handgun. Yeah, to be honest, I like generic guns. I'm not a big fan of like
Modifying
any
it?
one-offs. No, I like modifying them. I'm not
Okay.
very big fan of like, I don't know.
Novelty guns and
Yeah,
stuff.
no, like, yeah,
Mm.
specialty
Oh,
guns.
okay. Okay, yeah. So you're all about like the classic look and stuff like that. make it
M4,
nice and
AK,
clean.
sniper rifle.
Mhm.
Hey,
Very
it's just
sweet,
like
huh?
me. It's just like me. I'm
So
pretty sure.
then-
I'm pretty sure you had an influence, or I had an influence on you for GBBs.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. Just to let you guys know, I maintain some of the like group of friends GBBs out at the fields. I've touched them.
Poi has definitely touched my gun.
Okay,
The
we
GBB
need to
god.
be honest, okay? It's not that Poi is like subtle about this. He has this giant trailer. He comes out, he opens the doors, and he's just like out there, and he's like, huh, cleaning his GBBs. It's very hard pressed not to notice this guy, and it's like nothing but love. Because seriously, Poi is an amazing person, and if you ever are nice enough to ask him to see his gun collection, he. You know, Poi, I know you're not a shy person. You're more than welcome to look at me and say, look at all these mistakes.
I like how you worded that too. I guess
Oh man.
Mac,
Love
yeah,
you, boy.
go question Gavin.
Well, okay. So, yeah, Gavin, you've been reffing at Panther for a while now. So, like, honestly, what is your favorite style to play or game? Sorry, guys. What is your favorite game mode to play or
I-
to ref? Both
To
are two
ref?
different questions. Yeah, no. Both are two different
Okay.
questions.
Okay. To ref, I like reffing big game modes.
Mhm.
We'll follow up on that later. But I like reffing big game modes that have multiple objectives over almost the whole field because I know some or 3/4, maybe all the player base likes it, right? I like reffing them too. They're fun. I like seeing how people move around the field, how people use their kits, to be honest, because some people use
Mm.
their kits differently than others. Yeah. Favorite game to play though, by far, Sneaky Pete or that game,
Sneaky
multi-capture, multi-objective.
Mm-hmm.
The rush games
Sneaky
then.
Pete is
Rush games, yes,
Yeah.
rush games are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question for me. What team are you under?
Meme team. Yeah, meme team.
Yeah,
One of Elliot.
one of Elliot. That's a rare one.
That's the ultimate team right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
Trainwreck.
What-
So, like
what-
I play with Trainwreck. Affiliated with Trainwreck. I haven't tried out for Trainwreck.
wait, you
Gavin,
haven't?
No.
you're on the team, aren't you not? Aren't you in the chat and everything? Did you take yourself out of the chat? Why
I'm
would you
not-
do that?
I'm in the chat.
Yeah, then you're on the team. Why would you even?
Okay, I'm on the team.
Yeah, there you go. God,
There you go.
it's so much more than a team now, guys. Oh my
It-
God, it's like
It's
a
a,
club.
it's all right. It's been a
Club, yeah.
while, but
That's-
Gavin was one of the guys who was in charge of the half pints way back when.
Oh wow, when
Oh,
he was a half pint.
To be honest,
Yeah.
Tack, I
Mhm.
have 100%. I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah,
I'm not even
well,
gonna lie to you.
well, it's all right. You had a busy life and everything like that, so a lot of things happen and stuff like that, and then other, half pints obviously join in, and they can take up the responsibility of helping lead, themselves and whatnot, because everyone's got busy lives and whatnot. You can't always just dedicate everything to one person.
Speaking of
That's-
half
Mhm.
pints, how old are you now, Gavin?
I am 16, turning 17.
Wow. See, guys,
Yeah.
that's a lot of responsibilities for being a ref. But we'll
Oh,
get into that.
100%.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah,
And
it's definitely a big job for you. I know.
Yeah,
And
a
Gavin,
lot of
I've known him for a
responsibilities.
while now too. Yeah, he's a young gun, but he's definitely mature for his age. So
yeah. All right. Well, that's enough grilling, Gavin. Actually, let's try this out. You got any questions for us?
Um,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
actually, I've never really known the answer to this. Mac and Tack, how'd you guys get into Airsoft?
Okay.
Quick
Well, I
summary.
guess like a quick
It's all right,
summary
Tax
is
doing all the
that,
talking. Tax, do it all. Do it all. Don't lie. Don't leave anything out.
there's no lie, but like yeah, so it's like for myself, I was just going through like a rough patch or whatever it is, and then I had a couple of my friends try and get me to come out. They failed the first couple times, and then they finally got me to come out. Tried it out, had a lot of fun, just because it was exactly like you said earlier. It was like playing video games in real life. So from there, I kind of moved on and started playing it, and then same story sort of happened to Mac, and then got him into the whole airsoft thing and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, him and I are like, knee deep in
deep.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
You know,
Welcome to my
there.
world.
Yeah,
yeah.
basically live there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the story
Yeah.
for Mac and Tack and like a short summary of it.
Is that good enough for you, Gavin?
No, that's good enough. For Poi, what's your favorite gun?
What's my favorite gun? You know what it is. It's literally the Wii M4. That is
Oh,
my
really?
pride and joy. Yeah.
It's a beautiful
thought-
piece.
Yeah.
Oh, you just took care of her. I didn't think that was actually your favorite gun.
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh yeah.
No,
I
it's
I
number one.
that's
It's
why
the
when I
first one he
lent
touches when he gets to the
yeah,
bin.
when I get into the
First one.
bins, the first thing I touch, I'll be like, someone's touched. Who touched Sasha?
I feel so honored to be able to use that now.
Heck yeah,
Mhm.
dude. Yeah.
It's like someone
We
moved
needed
the
that
sight
to be a
down one
patch. Who
section
touched
of the
Sasha?
rail.
All right. I think that's good enough for questionnaires there. Any updates from our last podcast? I know we're talking about guns right now, but you guys notice anything different from the field from our topic last week?
Just the weather and stuff like that. That's for me at least. That's what I would call an update. It's definitely gotten a lot hotter than it was before.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
getting
and let's just dive into it then.
Not yet.
It's like if that's
Well,
where
no,
you're
well,
gonna
no.
keep teasing Tack, like
oh, not even teasing, but yeah, no, there's that. I believe we were trying out a different game mode or incorporating more different style of game modes
Yep.
to
we
sort
were
of
trying to put emphasis on the objectives.
yeah, exactly, trying to get people to focus more on just playing the game instead of just trying to shoot each other for KDR and whatnot.
Okay.
Let's see what else. I just can't think off the top of my head here. Other than those 2 points, Mac, do you have any updates from the weekend since you were out there yourself?
Anything
You
new
know,
at the field or anything like that? Anything happened?
yeah. Have you noticed anything like pop up in the field or whatever it is? Like, oh, actually, that reminds me. Gord donated I think a broken. Do you know what kind of helicopter it is, Mac? The chassis that it is.
I don't know what Gord's doing with that, so no, I'm not even.
Okay.
So
Well.
wasn't that
I
Tactical
like that's
Mafia?
news to me. So you take care of that. What's Gord doing with the helicopter tech?
Is this another
They.
helicopter or?
No, it's the helicopter left out by a grain silo.
That is
Um.
Tactical Mafia.
That's
That's
Tactical
yeah,
Mafia, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's like a UH-1 or a Bell helicopter, a standard Bell
Yeah,
Oh.
helicopter.
like
Oh.
yeah, we're
Oh,
not
that's
even
them.
supposed to like yeah, no, don't even play on that thing. It's
Yeah,
still
don't
like
touch it, guys.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been
Sorry.
moved. Don't worry about that. It's
Yep.
been moved.
okay,
Okay.
well then yeah, exactly. Don't have to worry about it. No, that's not Gord's. That's
Oh,
Okay. It was just there
Yeah.
for 2 weekends or whatever it is, and I just saw
um,
people playing around it.
yeah, they had to
yeah,
figure out how to move it
Oh.
across the river.
yeah. I think
Okay.
it's been moved already, wasn't it? I wasn't there
Mm.
last
Yes.
weekend. Yeah. Okay.
It was
Mhm.
moved today, or
Oh,
not
yeah.
today. A couple days ago. Sorry.
Mhm.
That's an attraction for Airsoft side, I believe, that we got to deal with. So,
Mm.
don't worry about it. Right now, you're not gonna see it at the field unless you play on the Airsoft side, which is a lot of the what is it? Julian's games, ASG games. So you probably
Mhm.
see it there. Um, Another one to mention is the usage of 22 bangers.
Oh
Right
yeah,
now,
sorry.
Elliot has
No.
mentioned that it is not allowed in the field. I know there was a few people asking for it, and I know it's available in Canada right now, but not allowed at the field.
Mhm.
Reason being that you have to bring one of those 22 card
Blank cartridges.
blank
Yeah.
cartridges for it, and that's already not good
Mhm.
for an airsoft field to bring live ammunition. Well, not live
Yeah.
ammunition, but
Well,
blanks anyway.
there's multiple reasons on top of it. For
Yeah.
anyone who has no idea what it is, the blank chargers, at least personally, I've used them in construction. A lot of the time, they're used to drive concrete nails into
Mm,
hard or already cured and hardened concrete. So you have your different levels, and just like the bangers do, which is based off of the decibels, based off of the strength of the powder charge and stuff
Mm.
like that. So, green is used for like really soft concrete and whatnot. So, regardless of that, just from my experience using them, they're under really strict regulations, at least in construction. So, like, you can't have them in single pieces because they have to be in strips and they have to be disposed of. If you don't finish the
Properly.
whole card, like the whole strip or whatever it is, you have to still dispose of the strip. It has to be put in water and then it has to be disposed of separately. Greens have to stay with greens and whatnot.
okay.
Um, so that's
Bottom
another
line,
problem.
not allowed at the field. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's, like, can you
TLDR.
imagine? Just can you imagine the problems that it could happen, like having all those little cartridges being left out around
Our
on the field and
insurance
stuff
will
like
hate
that?
us, so no,
Well, it's
not
an
allowed.
environmental hazard
Yeah.
first and foremost. So no.
Exactly. So
Um.
that's the main thing.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, reminders for everybody to do their waivers. Again,
Mhm.
due to the COVID stuff, please do your waivers so we know how many people are coming in. Same thing with rentals, still limited rentals. Please, submit your rentals online. Um,
Mhm.
and a big reminder,
Earlier the better.
big
Earlier the
reminder for
better.
everybody: hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
Water, it's good for you. Hydrate before
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
go in.
before you go, not the day of. Stay hydrated on the day of course. Drink
Because
in the
it
morning.
is
But
getting hotter and hotter, and I think we're at the peak
Mm.
season for heat coming up. And this weekend,
Yeah.
last weekend was no exception. It was hot, and
Mhm.
you know what happens when it's hot, right?
It's
Things get heated.
Yeah,
things.
things
Yep.
get heated, and
Things
that
get
is
heated. Yep.
segueing to our topic.
Mhm.
And in today's topic, I was not really wanting to discuss this, but it happens. Any airsoft field will get this, and
Mhm.
certain things will just turn ugly right away if we don't discuss about this, and we need to sort of, yeah, not address it, but sort of a public service announcement for. Well, no, I guess it's the other way around. It's more of a we're addressing it now. Yeah, heated arguments at the field. Why does it happen? Like, understandably, we find it more and more in the summer season because of the fact that it's just hot and people don't want to deal with
Hmm.
stuff. And
Well, I feel like every big problem is an accumulation of a lot of little problems.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
nothing happens because of one thing. It's because of a lot of little things, and then that's what causes the big problem. From my personal experience, it comes down to for like I haven't had, at least off the top of my head, heated arguments other than one a couple years back, just because I let the heat get the better of me, and obviously I learned from the situation. But what led to that is just it was getting hot. I wasn't hydrating enough. My lenses were fogging, and you have to remember that you're playing a game of airsoft. You're gonna get shot.
yeah,
You're gonna get shot multiple times. You have to keep that in mind. You can't sit there and be like, "Oh, I got shot once. I shouldn't be getting shot again." Like, yes, people, you'd like it if people don't shoot you and stuff like that, but it happens. Make sure that you make it very obvious that you're out and stuff like that, so you don't get shot again. But I remember, I was getting, I guess, shot by multiple people, but I took my anger out on this one specific person, and I did something that I really shouldn't have, and started yelling at the person, and trying to escalate the situation when I should have really just taken myself out and defog my lenses, calm down, drink some water, maybe skip a game or whatnot. But that's kind of where I see, it's multiple things that sort of lead up to it.
yeah. And the beauty of Panther is like it's not just like you walk out and then you walk out, go to a common area, you cool off a bit, come talk to Tack or Mac, or me, and then you could always hop back to the next game. It's not like you're missing out much. You still have
Hmm.
multiple games in one day, so
Hmm.
it's one of those things where the heat is getting the best of you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Um,
exactly.
we'll just discuss a few things here that I've noticed anyway in terms of like when heated argument comes. Yeah, weather is one of them for sure. Like
Mhm.
no doubt. Like it's hot. Did you notice anything for that, Gavin, in terms of like heat and it's getting the best of people?
To be honest, when it comes to heat, people try to, um, honestly, when it comes to heat, people just try to, oh, um,
That
they have a less like they have less patience for people within the game.
Yep. Do they get
Like,
tardy, meaning a little bit more
yes,
lazy, a little bit
yes, they
more
get lazy.
sluggish?
Um, for one thing, they stop listening very clear details.
Yep. And then do
Um,
they start sort of ignoring the rules or
they ignore the rules in different ways, I guess.
yep.
Yeah,
Um,
different
or
capacities. Yeah.
And
in
then
people,
what ends up happening when you confront them in regards to like let's say like I've noticed in one of the videos you see someone full autoing close to a building. You come up to them, of course you're going to get tired too because of the fact that you're out there dealing with the heat too, but yelling at
okay,
them, telling them, no full auto buildings, right?
it comes down. I will, if it's from a far distance, yes, I will yell. I'm not trying to come across as mean, obviously. I'm just trying to get my point across because there's 100 people out there in a big open area.
Yep.
Mhm.
Um, yes, I'll yell.
And then when you're dealing with them, what usually ends up
When
happening?
I come to dealing with them, they get defensive of what they're trying or what I'm talking to them about.
Yep.
They get very defensive. If it's very hot out, people will get defensive very quickly, and they'll lose patience very quickly when it
Yep.
comes to having. I don't know. I try to be very like nice when I come up to people. I
Yep.
try to be just like
You're not
I
trying
give
to
them 3
ruin. You're
strikes.
not. You're not
No,
trying to
I'm
ruin
not
their
trying to
time.
ruin someone's
Yeah.
day. They're paying. They're coming here to play, right?
Yep.
They're paying to get in. I'm just trying to. Comes down to 3 strikes, man. Like honestly, I'll give you a strike. I'm trying to give you another like try,
Chance.
right?
Yep.
Another chance, right? Um, but people just kind of get a little bit too heated, or they don't listen to what I'm saying to them at the very exact moment,
Yep.
or they jump to conclusions. That is a very big thing. People jump to conclusions, and I'm just coming over there to get mad at them. No, I'm just coming to give you a warning, my man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take it personally when a ref comes over. He's just, Gavin's just trying to make sure that everybody's at the same playing field, and you're following the rules. Your priority is for everybody's safety.
And for them to have fun.
Yeah, and for you to have fun. But like, I get you. The weather gets the best of you, just like what Tack is saying there. Yeah, it's just even I get frustrated too when it gets really hot outside. Yeah, it gets really hot outside. I tend to just walk out of the field and be like, I'm done. Don't worry about me. Like, I'll tell people like I'm done. Don't worry, and then I'll walk away. I mean, that also drags a whole bunch of people out when you say that. So I mean, I apologize, but like I'm not dealing with the heat. I'm like overheating. I'm gonna cool off, in my container. I'll just sit down for a bit, and hang out with the team, right? But yeah, I get, that. I'm guessing, Gavin, for you, that kind of devastates the balance of the team at that point, right?
If it's an like,
Well,
if there's
like what
multiple,
happened this past weekend.
Yeah.
yes, for using this past weekend as an example,
Yep.
multiple
Exactly.
people,
Just
were
dipped
getting
out.
way too hot, and they just had to step out. That
Yeah.
led to one team being outnumbered almost 2-1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't take it, we have no issue for you walking out, hanging out at the common area and cooling off. I mean, that's, you got to manage your heat. Do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, your safety is, the number one thing. But, like my opinion too on that is that if you're close to that edge, it it'd be respectful, at least in my opinion, to maybe take the extra time to sit out and cool yourself down and whatnot, so
It's
that you
not even
don't
a
do that.
respect factor at that
Because
point, Tack. What are you talking about?
if you walk
It's a
out in the
health
middle of
thing.
if you walk out of the middle of the game and stuff like that, then that also makes it harder on the refs and stuff, because their decision either has to be to end the game right there because it's unfair, and that can lead to premature games, or they have to try and balance the team right in the middle of it, which can cause confusion for people who recognize people based off of gear and whatnot. So they'll sit there and be like, oh, I didn't shoot you because I thought you were on my team. It's like, oh no, I got switched in the middle of the game. It's like, so I can understand that confusion part too. But just
So,
from
so
that,
this weekend, was there, was directed to Gavin, and this weekend, was there a lot of people turning up at the field?
Very good numbers. I would say it's our May. It was either this Sunday or last Sunday was the
It's-
biggest Sunday that we've had this summer.
Historically, the values have been pretty high for usually these, like, for July and August for the highest turnouts because summer,
the
right?
summer weekend. Yeah.
But would that sort of fuel the heated arguments at the field, because you got so many different people, so many different characters, and on top of the heat, would that fuel sort of like the heated arguments at the field?
Yes. It would fuel arguments because there's, in general, more people there. So if there's more things happening, it's prone to be more arguments,
So
unfortunately.
is it just based on like how crowded it is and how much like less movement you can get out of it, or is it just something else?
Not to a less movement part, because if there's more people, I'll just expand the field, right?
Okay.
It's down to people. I tried to do, honestly, I think we should just leave that one right there. Or except for me, at least for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So having a big turnout is great. I mean, for the field is great because I mean it's that people actually love coming down and playing airsoft. I mean, there's a lot of people in the Lower Mainland, and we are the biggest field here, so we take the blunt of, yes, the arguments, yes, the
Mhm.
heated arguments and as well as controversies and stuff, and we try to mitigate that as much as possible.
Mhm.
And that's why we have rules in place, right? Um, as far as like splitting up into different groups, yeah, I get that. If you go to, let's say, an ASG game, if you're finding that it's just too much for you,
Mhm.
go to an ASG game or an airsoft gear game,
Mhm.
or even go to a different field. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not you're not locked into just Panther. I mean,
Yeah. Panther's not your only choice.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
not your only
No.
choice, but at the same time, it's like if you're playing here, respect the rules.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
They're there, and you
and
choose
if
to
you
come
go
here.
to Julian's game or ASG games, if you find, we're gonna jump into gameplay in a bit here, but if you find that our
Mhm.
gameplay is kind of lacking or slow, or we just had this discussion in episode, what is it, 6 or 7?
Hmm.
If you
About
find the game,
higher caliber games.
yeah, if you want high caliber games, go to them. If you
Yeah.
find that it's frustrating now with just regular games, I'm sure, Gavin, you know how simple our games are, right? We try to make it as simple as possible.
To an extent,
Imagine, yeah, to a certain extent, we try to go into one of these other games, which has proper command and control structure, proper, um, you know, you know, team gameplay,
Where
and
you have to think.
imagine the
The
heat on top of
real.
that.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
real
And
embrace of
yeah,
that.
and then you'd want to be using real gear and stuff. Oh my gosh, is it you're,
Mhm.
you're gonna get frustrated. But let's not dive
Mm.
into that. We already have an episode on that. But we're talking about
Mhm.
just how heated arguments just starts
Well,
at the field.
things got heated this
Yeah,
past weekend, and yeah, like from my perspective, it came down to a lot of like,
yeah,
not a lot, but just I guess three main things that comes down to it, right? Like the heat, turnout, and gameplay. And
gameplay.
so, each one of those varying factors had a lot to contribute to.
It trickles down to
Um,
micro sort of things as well. On top of that, like being overshot, not calling your hits.
it's like
Um,
Tax said, 1,000 things
yeah,
adds up and makes a problem, right? So, the first thing I want to start off with
go
saying
for it.
is to my friend Jamie, Prairie Dog over there. I'm really sorry, man. Saw his video there. I didn't realize he was having such a tough weekend already. And then, like me and Gavin were saying, the heat just really kind of took a number,
Yeah.
mind the pun, took a number out of the game. And it just became to the point where it was like almost more than 2-1, I think, and
Now
it was just you know,
I
I
would
switched him over and I just kind of stacked onto his negativity that was going on that day. And yeah, so I apologize for that, Prairie Dog, and yeah, you know,
I
come
would
back,
just like
man. We love you.
I would just like to show a clip from Prairie Dog's video that just
Oh
emphasizes.
God.
It's about 13 minutes into the video. I noticed that like he just starts to decline. The attitude of
Mhm.
playing airsoft. At that point, he was just like dragging his feet. But let me just play this clip here. You guys have the link there. I'll just play the clip here for about 30 seconds, and then I'll come back to you guys here. Just give me a moment. So here is the clip.
I need 30 kills. Hey, there you go, 10 more.
Look at all these defeated players sitting in the spawn. We're fucked. Just end the game.
Oh my god.
It's brutal to watch.
Yeah,
Because
let's
I've
come
had
back
the
to-
experience. I've experienced this.
Yeah. So what it is there is what you saw there is just Jamie mentioning that like the entire team, not just him, but the entire team was defeated because we got people spawn camping. Now that's like
Yeah, that's a whole other.
that
Yeah, well,
that
that's part of this. That's part of it.
that's part of the issue as well. You get either bad teammates, you get just people that are just not like they don't want to play anymore because it's just too hot, or they're just frustrated with the game or the gameplay, stuff like that. And then I guess from Jamie's standpoint, Prairie Dog standpoint, there he's just like looking at the spawn, going, "Man, there's a lot of people standing there." And yeah, I get it. Like I've seen games like that where it's pretty much like the drive is gone because of the fact that the game is not like flowing anymore, no one's trying anymore, and it's too
Yeah, the
hot.
spirit of the game.
The spirit of the game is gone. So
Mhm.
that's when a referee, just like yourself, Gavin, would come in and try to mitigate that. What would you try to do in that situation, or what did you try to do?
I can tell you exactly what I did in that situation. So Mac and I were both out in the field during that game.
Yep.
There's two really options that you can do. You can end the game, or you can start moving people over to try and balance the teams. So we tried to balance the teams. It in Jamie's video, as you can see.
Yep.
Well,
It
okay, so let's set up the gameplay for that game though.
Okay, yeah,
so
yeah.
this is what the game was. It was a plant the bomb scenario game. Okay, each team had a designated bomb carrier that they needed to get inside the central objective that was in between the middle of both of two enemy spawn points. They had the whole map or the whole field other than crossing over across the river. And what they needed to do, it was a 30-minute game, and each team needed to get their bomb carrier inside the mine and keep him alive for upwards of 5 minutes to be able to end the game right there, and then we would have swapped
Now,
sides.
would that be a complex game or is this a simple game, bomb game? It all depends, I'm guessing, right?
I don't know, guys. You tell me.
We've
I don't know
we've had this
anymore.
discussion before about
Mhm.
complex games, and people were begging for complex games, right?
Well, it sucks because of COVID. It
Yes, I
definitely
understand.
sucks because of COVID right now. Like I wish I could let everyone and anyone be a bomb carrier and each team just have to get their bomb into the thing and the game would end, But yeah, we can't be kind of giving things out and having everyone touch something yet. So it is what it is right now.
Yeah.
And definitely with the heat, so just like adding on to that, right? You had a lot of people changing their loadouts. That's great. A lot of people being smart and they're wearing less. This is still airsoft, so it's going to be painful. And some people are coming out of winter airsoft or they haven't played in a while and everything like that, and they're playing in a t-shirt and they kind of forgot what it feels like to get hit. Because I saw a lot of people coming up to me and being like, "That guy's shooting hot," and I'm actually like, "No, you're just kind of like wearing a t-shirt." Like, dude, I get it. It stings. Like, I get shot in the stomach and I'm like, youch, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I got shot in the neck a couple of times while I was out there and I was like, whoa, it sucks. But,
Yeah.
and then I do understand, like, because I do follow up every time if someone brings up something about, feeling like it was a little too hot. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go kind of check it out.
And being shot like too hot and too aggressively like that
repeatedly, that's the thing
repeatedly,
though, right? Yeah.
that also frustrates players as well, I'm guessing, because of the fact that like not only are you like overheating and hot, you're also getting
Yeah.
overshot. And then
It's
I
so
noticed in
quick to
Jamie's
anger.
video he did point out that one of them was like, how you say hit and then you say hit again, but in 3 decibel, like 3 times the decibel, and then you go and then you get shot again while you're out and your hands up, and then you do the the insane yell, hit, and then you look at that person, right?
Yeah.
And then like, I get it, but dude, calm down, like, and just walk out. If you find that like that's you're getting a lot of that, then just walk out. Just don't take your anger
Well,
on the other
okay.
player.
So Poi, I know you were gone this weekend. Happy birthday, Kyle.
Yep.
And so like but I know you've been playing there forever and you've had so many summers that you've gone through, so exactly like what's going on. But like, so just to set up this past weekend here and what happened, Tack, I know you're busy in the store, but you came out and you saw what was going on and everything. You could see and feel the atmosphere. So Gavin, you're definitely going to be able to back me up on this. Like, we had an amazing turnout,
Yep.
So with that, it comes down to really like limiting and or kind of just maximizing the field space that we can use. And when it comes to gameplay and everything like that, obviously we want to be able to kind of keep things rudimentary, but also be able to have fun. And again, it comes down to like these COVID restrictions kind of really tying our hands on what we can and cannot do right now too. Because again, I can't have everyone touching everything, and we have to try and maintain this social distancing between ourselves and everything. So shoot each other from a distance, but I can't have you guys all try and capture a flag or something like that. Not yet. But so dealing with that, I know in the summer we had an amazing turnout. There was a lot of people that came out, and we were trying to play a couple of games, just kind of like rolling into the day. And when it comes down to such a large gameplay, the common area is only so big, but I do know that a lot of people don't show up right away, or they show up later and they're stragglers and everything like that. And it's always easy for just the way we do things right now at Panther is like stragglers always just kind of get added to the one team that kind of just gets meshed in and everything with a
That's why we
non-armband
call it
team. So
drop-in games. So
exactly. So it's very easy to kind of like lose track of the numbers, but we do try our best. And this weekend it did get a little out of hand with just how many people we had there, but it was fluctuating throughout the day while we were playing different games and everything like that. So Gavin and I tried our best to work around the situation. I understand some people were having some really frustrating moments out there because it was, quite hot. People were saying that they were overshooting. People were not calling their hits. One thing that's a real killer for me too, like I saw in Prairie Dog's video too, is just spawn camping. Like, and it always sucks to me too, because like when I walk around and I call people out for it, or when I try and fix those problems, it's always the regulars, or it's not always, sorry, but it's always people that I would expect not to do that. Where it's like, the field, the game. I expected you to be kind of a better player than that, and it's like, I understand it's hard to listen at game speech to, like, first off, hear your spawn, let alone hear the other team's spawn. But it's the same field and the games don't really change too often. So it's really kind of hard for me to believe when people are like, I don't know that that's their spawn. It's like, really? They're all kind of just standing there and not moving. That didn't give it away. Like, what? So yeah, that's just like my view on that.
mm. What was your view there, Gavin, for this weekend?
Honestly, as it got hotter, people started to show up to the game speeches a little bit later.
Yep.
Therefore, that offsets like multiple things. That offsets the count in the game.
Yep.
That offsets them not knowing the rules of the game, not
Mhm.
knowing what the game is happening or what is happening in the game. But
The
then
objective, yeah.
on that one, they go up and ask other players. Sometimes other players do not say what is actually happening in the game because they were not listening themselves.
Mhm.
I have no problem. Please come up to me. I will explain the game again to
Yep.
you. Please come ask me. I rather explain it to you than explain it to everyone again.
Yeah, and that we get those complaints that tell us right away is like, oh, it's team deathmatch again.
Every game is team deathmatch.
Every game is just team deathmatch. I know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Even though we have objectives in place. I mean, again, we
Well,
discussed
we
this.
try.
We discussed this on a previous episode already about why it happens to be like that. No, it's not, because it's just it ends up being that no one plays the objective, right?
Well, okay,
Right,
so
Tack?
don't get me wrong. This weekend was very hot and things did get out of hand with just like kind of the spirit of the game getting broken in that particular game. But I do want to say I really loved everyone's effort in that game,
Mhm.
because before leading up to the last like 5 minutes of that game, that game was going back and forth like every 5 minutes, or like under 5 minutes, because I set a bomb timer for each team. Because what the plan was is that if the team had successfully got their bomb into the team, or into the central objective, then a timer would start, and after 5 minutes the bomb would detonate and everything like that. But that was only if the other team wasn't able to get their bomb in there as well and defuse their, technically, right, defuse their
Yep.
bomb and get their bomb in there, which then the timer would start again, and it'd be 5 minutes for the other team and everything like that. So
Yep.
it went back and forth for
3 times.
yeah, about 3 times. And it was like, like I actually thought that was really good gameplay. And I'm sorry that some people were not having fun towards the end. And I understand that game was like, because I don't want to keep blaming the heat, because like I'm not trying to be like an excuses guy saying that we're not, it's not our fault, but it's like, we are trying our best here. But that game was just before lunch, so that's like right at noon during during that
1
hot
o'clock.
weekend there.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah,
hungry.
exactly.
People probably
Right?
didn't eat
People,
breakfast.
yeah,
Stuff like
hungry.
that.
You're running around in your
Airsoft
gear. You're not taking your gear off in between games. Like you're running around, so the signs of heat exhaustion were just everywhere. And
Mhm.
for people to kind of just get frustrated that the game kind of went back and forth, like, yeah, like there was a call that we should have made was probably end that game, but like it was going good from a lot of other people's perspectives. So,
Yeah.
that's what I have to try and remember. Like, sometimes that it's not just from
And
one
that's
person's eyes. So,
and in my opinion, that's one takeaway you want to take away from this is don't base your experience on just one single video, let alone one
Yeah.
single game, right? Because
Mhm.
this video is gonna be forever. It's gonna be like right away placid as being like, oh, like we got bad games or bad referees or bad players in here, bad actors. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have those times, but the other 90% of the time,
Mhm.
everyone's having fun. Everyone's doing, everyone's following the rules. If what if it was a nice cool day, right? Like maybe it will turn out differently, right?
Maybe people's glasses won't fog up as
Yeah.
much, so they won't get so frustrated and whatnot. Like for me, listening to all of this and stuff like that from sort of like an outside perspective, I'm a big believer in the flow of the game and getting things moving and stuff like that. So just from listening, my opinion would be changing the bomb timer right away. Like 5 minutes, in my opinion, sounds way too long after something's put into a building. So it's much easier, in my opinion, to have the bomb planted, have the team essentially end up possibly winning or not winning, and then switching sides so that now the elements are on, whoops, on a different sides again. You know what I mean? And you keep switching that over and over again, so that people find, that sort of uh, back and forth tug of war sort of thing. Get the feel for the field. They still get their fulfillment out of the game kind of thing. Because like it can drag on, you know what I mean? For like 5 minute, I feel like maybe a 2 or 3 minute timer sounds more respectable and stuff like that. Like I just know that playing games with poi and stuff like that, if we're really dedicated and serious to actually trying to clear something, we can get it done in that certain amount of time. You know what I mean? Like you sacrifice some bodies doing it, but you can get it done.
Again, that's if you have players that are cooperative and are not
Mhm.
exhausted.
Yeah.
Since we're putting inputs and stuff, yeah, I would agree with Tack as well about having certain people sort of just push in, given that morale, because when everyone's down at their low and no one's there to sort of cheer them on and stuff, and I'm usually the guy that tries to like, let's go, let's push on, let's try and take this. We only got 5 minutes. Come on, guys, and stuff like that. Like I would agree that would make sense, but again, heat. Again, we're trying not to blame the heat, but
Yeah.
just the environment alone
Big
is already
factor. It's a
it's
big
it's a big
factor.
factor.
Well,
I get it.
the heat definitely amplifies all the other problems because like the way I look at it is that spawn camping happens already. You know what I mean?
Regardless.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a problem in and of itself.
the heat just
Uh,
amplifies the anger even more.
Yeah.
exactly. Throw in heat and now you're even mad. You're getting more heated. Add in overshooting. Either by accident or just in general.
Yep.
Boom, amplified again. So the heat really makes it a lot worse. So
Yeah,
like a lot of these things like on an individual cases maybe not so bad. Like
one little
just like
droplet adds to a big puddle.
Yeah.
exactly like Gavin, like what do you think from your experience? Like is
What
there anything in between?
solutions? What solutions would you
The
provide?
solutions? Okay,
Yeah.
I love the people who go running out in the middle of the game, both arms up. Let's go! I love that.
Yeah,
I love it. People follow. Last 30 seconds of the game, people yell, rush up. The whole team goes running. Why can we not do that the whole game, guys?
yeah.
Yeah.
We can do it.
That's
We
a
can do
morale
it.
booster, right? You
We
need
can do
people
it.
like that. You need people
Gotta
like that,
save
morale
it. Okay,
boosters.
you don't have all those coins in the purse. Okay, you gotta save those for the end of the game.
Yeah.
I gotta say it. We just gotta get some paid actors, man, on both sides. It's all about that
buy me
state action.
lunch, buy me lunch, and I will push a team
No,
forward.
BBs,
Let's go.
BBs.
BBs. But is that like a big factor for you, Gavin, when you see people doing that? Sort of like that are more interactive with your games. I mean, I guess it is a morale booster for you when when you get certain people that just love it. But
When
I'm guessing it's demoralizing when other players are kind of just like not following and just kind of just like slacking at the back and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell when they're like when people are gonna have a good game. Everyone's running up towards the beginning. Um, People are also trying to group together, not just running off on their own.
Yep.
Yeah.
People will
Teamwork.
try and talk in the beginning of the game, try and figure out, okay, let's go for this objective. The other group will go for this objective. You guys will go watch the flanks while we go for this objective. Like
Mhm.
when people talk about what they're gonna do in the game, that really helps.
Yep.
Yeah.
As far as like if they're not doing that, what is your solution for helping out the team that is not
Um,
doing well?
Personally doing it, I will yell. I'll go tell them to move up. I will very much encourage people to go and get together, or like I'll see a group of people just standing back at their spawn. I'll be like, "Yo, you guys, go push up down the side. Go move up." Um, yeah.
So just to
I
boost their
just try and
morale.
I just try and boost their morale. To be honest,
Okay.
it's
It-
kind of yeah.
Is it difficult to do it in certain cases or in certain seasons, or is it just like just the heat gets everybody?
In the heat, people I don't know.
Just ignore
I don't
you?
know if it's people not hearing me or if it's people ignoring me. One of the two.
Yo,
Uh,
man, the Heat, they got one thing on their mind, and that's one thing only: team
Sling
deathmatch.
BBs. Yep.
Dude, how many? Yeah, I wanna, I wanna Shrek these far quads and stack bodies.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if we had like an emote or a soundbite button, I want team deathmatch in there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's Airsoft in a nutshell, man.
Yeah.
Well, just actually, and I'm looking at it too. Another thing is just like ending games early. What's your guys' opinions on that?
We
Like, if
should
you
ask
see some-
Gavin because I'm.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to ending games early, I don't like doing it unless there is a reason to do it. If the
Okay.
teams are unbalanced to a very high extent, that is a way for me to end a game early.
Spawn camping, is it one of them?
Spawn
Or...
camping, that I will honestly, if it's within my control, if I can control what they're doing, I will go stand over there and I'll make sure no one moves past me. To be honest, like I can
Mhm.
use myself as a boundary line a lot. I do that a lot.
What about
Yeah.
Elliot's sort of way of dealing or mitigating team imbalance? Airstrikes, are those one of your tools that you like to use as well?
I definitely don't want to overuse them, so I don't use them too often. I use them occasionally if they're needed, like that game last Sunday. Mac and I had to use one.
Yep.
Um, because because one team was being spawn camped so hard.
Yep.
You're so
That did work
one-sided.
effectively. I actually used the airstrike along with the other method I said before, using myself as a line.
Yep.
So I'll go up there, I'll airstrike it if I have to, and then I'll just stand there, make sure no one pushes past me, and then also direct those people that are heading towards their spawn to go for the objectives.
Okay. So turn the team deathmatch into a objective game. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the game originally, but everybody just wants to sling BB. I mean, understandable. Again, we discussed this from a previous episode in regards to, do you want to sling BBs or do you want objective based games? I mean, there's a fine
Well, it's
balance
always
that you
funny,
gotta.
right?
Yeah, there's a fine
Yeah.
balance, right?
It's always funny. We could leave it up to the public, and then it's all like, seriously, okay, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I swear to God, probably 9 times out of 10, they're all gonna stand there just kind of deer in the headlights, like.
There won't be a consensus, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, exactly, because one person's gonna want to play one thing, and another person's gonna want to play another, and
Yeah.
it's
And it
it's
usually
tough.
favors that one person's play style. That's the way I look at it. That's why I like mixing things up. And it makes me sad sometimes when people step out of certain games because they just like it's their complete weakness. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, so they're only gonna play one type of airsoft, which is fine. That's up to them and stuff like that. but they have to also realize that that one type of game mode may not happen every single round. You know what I mean? It might happen at the beginning of the day and then it might happen at the end of the day. Or one weekend we might be doing it because all weekend or all day because of the numbers. So,
Mhm, mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, like I like these new game modes that we're trying. You know, we're obviously going to be trying to bring in more and stuff like that. You know, the heat doesn't help anyone, you know. We obviously all try to do our best and whatnot. We're going to try and take, you know, what we sort of discussed here about everything, you know, lowering the bomb timer, possibly changing some of the parameters and whatnot. Obviously, we're still restricted based off of COVID, you know, but we'll always try to make rules based around if COVID was not around. You know what I mean? Because you got to make a standardized game mode and then add in all your conditions and stuff like that. So, with that, one thing I want to kind of go over is what do you guys find sort of like with like team balancing? Because that's another thing that I see. Like spawn camping is one issue, but I feel like spawn camping is another big issue that sort of is derived from a bunch of other small issues, like you guys were saying. Usually, it comes down to your
Um, I'll
regulars or certain people and whatnot. Like, do
I'll
you guys
I'll
find?
Team
jump into
balance
that
comes
one.
down to like, yeah. Poi, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump
Yeah.
into that one. In a case of team balancing, I find that like if you have one team filled with regulars, right?
Mhm.
Like train wreck, you know, you got like aces and eights, you got
Marauders.
marauders. All of a sudden, you
Uh,
get them in
The
one team, right?
Rangers.
You get them in one team, meme team, even, right? You get them in one
Yeah.
team, and all of a sudden, the other side has a bigger number, right, of like pro players, and then the other side has rentals. Then I
Mhm.
would implement a team balance at that point because it's
Mhm.
not about the size, it's about the skill and as well as the know how, right? If you get one side that is all like unknown players, they haven't played here before and stuff like
Mhm.
that, right? This gets into the point of what we were talking about their attack about like that one person that has a charisma to push on, a
Mhm.
team, right? Imagine having two of them in one team and none on the other. Who's gonna have fun?
Yeah.
Who's gonna have fun,
Exactly.
right? Like, do you
It's going to
agree
be a
with
stack side.
do you agree with
Exactly.
me there, Gavin? Have you seen
I
those
I
types?
100% agree with you, and I could not say it better myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you.
I know that like for what I see when I go out there to do team balancing or when I ever ref a game, I will specifically tear like depending on the game, obviously, right? Like if you're playing a regular old shoot 'em up game, I'm purposely gonna break people up because you're pushing those people's limits. You know what I mean? You're putting them in uncomfortable situations. You're going to have fun out of it. You know what I mean? You're not going to have fun because it's like you're going to try to prevail out of that situation. You know what I mean? Like if you have a bad time, it's just like you kind of, in my opinion, you sort of need to reflect on yourself as an airsofter. You know, but when you're doing objective based games, I would sort of like organize it as best as you can, but like, that way sort of objectives do get pushed because I feel like sometimes if you split specific teams up too much, then certain objectives don't get pushed because certain people don't mesh well together. You know what I mean? So like you were saying, if you stacked one side with the two leaders, you know what I mean? Like if you had leaders on either side, people will flock to those leaders and they'll follow behind them kind of thing. So same thing, sort of like the team compositions. If you split up the teams and then you have half a team on one side and half a team on the other, but they don't mesh well with the other groups, then they sort of just turn into a team deathmatch scenario. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Well,
balance,
at the
balance.
end of the day, it all comes down to team deathmatch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you're saying exactly is that, like, yeah, like the teams, and this is some of the problems too, is that the teams don't want to be broken up. So then, see, these are things sometimes too that I really notice with airsofters too, is
Hmm.
that they want it to be easy,
Hmm.
right?
They
So,
want
like, yeah. Oh, Gavin, what do you? Yeah,
they want to all play. Um, sorry, I was just gonna add on to what you're saying there.
yeah.
Everyone wants to play as a group, right?
Hmm.
But if, like, adding on to also what Tax said, if you cut that group in half, so say you had meme team, for example, you split them right down the middle. You said half go to armband, half go to the other non-armband. First of all, that's gonna make them a challenge between both of them, right?
Hmm.
Both sides trying to get to the objective. They want to win because they want to be known as
Mhm.
they won, right?
Yep.
Um,
Right, but then you get into the fight where it's like, some people want to roll with the people that they want to roll with, right? So I understand that, right? And
that
that's
is
why
also true.
we encourage people to kind of like affiliate themselves as a team and stuff like that. Remember, guys, if
Mhm.
you're a team of 6 or more, and you got a patch or anything like that, let us know. Like we want to know about the teams that come to Panther and stuff like that. And honestly, with that kind of setup, it helps us, kind of have a head count for what we can do with team balancing and everything like that, which comes down to a lot of some of the problems that came about this weekend,
We could
and
organize
some of the
possible
problems that frequent us all the time.
Yeah. For me personally, I wouldn't call it a team balance. I would call it more of a skills balance at that point because
I mean, but to see that in that case, it comes down to what do you do to mitigate the numbers, right? Because
yeah.
you have such a large turnout that you've got now, 100 plus people. It's like, okay, so I could stack the team with like 50 people that are, adept in airsoft and put all the other team, uh, onto one. Then the regulars aren't going to have any fun because no matter how good you are at airsoft, you're going to lose, right? Or I could, put all the renters, it's trying to find that balance. It's trying to find the balance.
Yeah. What about you, Gavin? For team balancing purposes, what is the perfect balance for you at the field right now in terms of, how do you deal with things basically?
um, to be honest, when it comes down to team balancing, I love when everyone comes into the game speech because then I can do it all right then and there.
That's number one priority.
Mhm.
Well, no, goggles is number one priority, but
Oh,
that's number one.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Alrighty, so back to what you're saying. I love it all when everyone comes in because then I can see how many renters first of all I have because when rentals come in groups, they usually rentals they usually come in groups, so I can
Mhm.
split them up and put them both on each team to make sure that they're playing with
Mhm.
people that are experienced so that they can have a good time.
So
And
that
at
the
the same
rentals.
time, like you guys said before, I'm trying to make sure that the experienced people have a good time shooting the other team too, right? It can't be super unbalanced to the point where it's just 50 people versus 6 people that know what they're doing.
Mhm. Mhm. Makes sense.
I would like
Yeah.
to also note down that that is a seriously hard task to do, especially as a 16-year-old there, Gavin. And I applaud your excellence at this because you've been doing this. Like, I personally haven't ref like large games myself, but
Mhm.
having managed smaller games and knowing skill sets as well as balance really well, you doing it at a larger scale, that's
Mhm.
impressive actually, and I think Mac Attack will approve on that too.
Yeah, it's a lot to
Thank
do,
you.
man. It's a lot to take in. If even I have a hard time doing it. Like, yeah, sometimes you make mistakes and then the games go, oh,
Yeah. And
wrong, and
you
you're
you
like,
get you get the
"Mm,
blame of it, right? And
You
that
just
that
gotta
is
accept it, to be honest.
there you go.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I one thing I can't stress enough, what Gavin's explaining here is like there is a lot of work that he has to do, and it requires
Mhm.
your cooperation. And
Exactly.
it's one of those
Very
things
much
where
so.
he's mentioning that coming into the game speech is a big one because it gives him time to prep, gives
Yeah.
him time, to do the head count, what you're saying there. Anyways, continue on there, Gavin. Sorry. I just wanted to mention that because that's probably your job is probably not as rewarding as it sounds like it seems, but I just wanted to mention that to the viewers that this is a job for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. And that was actually where I was gonna leave it anyway.
Well,
To be honest, that's the only way it comes down. It's you gotta make sure that everyone is like that the teams are balanced, not just numbers wise. It comes down to skill. How also like yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well,
We want to make sure everyone's having fun, but everyone's safe and having fun, and yeah,
exactly.
able to kind of just get along and stuff. And it sucks because we had some moments there this past weekend where again things got heated, but cooler heads were able to kind of prevail and stuff like that. I saw a couple of disputes that kind of like vocalized right in front of me, and both parties were able to kind of like just agree and just walk away from each other, and like that is always the right call. Don't ever escalate a fight or anything like that, guys. This is a hobby. Like we're all just kind of, we're all silly. We're all running around the forest larping, playing soldier. So no, like nobody's tough. Like,
Since we're diving into that,
I was just about to
Yeah.
add on to that quickly, actually.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you have an argument in the field that is getting out of hand,
No.
see a referee or someone that is supervising that game.
But
Please.
just come see the staff. That's
Come
what it
see the
is.
staff. Come see the
Exactly.
staff. We
Try
will.
not to even get to that point, right? Like, yeah, exactly. Come to you guys before
Just
you even
walk.
get
Yeah, exactly. Like walk
So
away from the
since we're
situation.
talking about that, what are ways to mitigate the frustration at the field? Let's start with the player level. Like, what is it that we can do, or not, like us players can do to mitigate the frustration level? Like, what would be your guys' best tip? I mean, for me,
Well,
it would be like,
definitely.
don't deal with the issue yourself. Go talk to a referee. I mean, we've already talked about that. That's one. What's another one for you guys?
For me, it's do not take it out on the ref. Like,
Oh,
that's something I'd like to point out a lot for people. Ways to mitigate any sort of frustration is try not to take it out on a specific, person.
yeah.
Because
And I would like to mention that having Gavin dealt that before on his hand. If you guys
Yes.
don't know about the Y
yes,
incident,
the Y video.
the Y video,
Yeah.
look it up. Panther Airsoft Y. I know
Mhm.
it's a huge controversy. I don't want to play the video, but it is a huge
Yeah.
controversy where a player got banned at the field for arguing with the referee and as well as
What, you got
threatening
banned for something else?
threatening
okay?
a
Yeah,
Yeah,
minor
for
as
something-
well.
Threatening
So
a minor,
yeah.
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I would not recommend you risking it.
Yeah.
Go if Gavin tells you to go out, just go out. He does have a 3 strike system, right? And
Let cooler heads prevail.
yeah, cool your heads. He just walk out of that game. Maybe it'll cool off later, right? So
Yeah. That was definitely a collection of epic, problems coming together and sort of
yeah, and again,
exploding.
this is
Very much so.
we're dealing with back then what is it Fortress, and Fortress was always a big heated argument. Whether you blind fire, whether you got hit, no one sees you and they're not gonna call your hit. Shooting to report. Anyways, that's gone now. But
My opinion of Old Fortress was neutral. There was no positives and no negative. That's
I'm with
where
you
I
on
stand.
that from a ref standpoint.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as like ways to mitigate frustration, I guess saying who wants to go next, Gavin or Mac?
I mean,
Go
the
ahead.
best way, honestly, is to, if you're like in the field, is what you're saying?
Yeah, in the field, like as a player, yeah.
To be honest, if you're getting frustrated, like we said before, walk off the field. But if
Take a break.
it does escalate, there's really one option that you should do, and that's come see me, because
Yeah.
I will just play the middleman, and it's honestly it ends well. It ends better if you come get me. It always 100% of the time ends better if you come get me.
And you've had multiple incidents where people have yelled at you. I
Mhm.
mean, Y incident's one of them. But
Yes.
what about like someone? I'm at a building doing full auto, and I'm like frustrated that no one's calling their heads, and I just keep doing full auto on this one dude outside, right? Like you would come up and be like, "Hey, no full auto," and then he'd be like, "I wasn't full autoing," right? What do you do in that situation there?
In that situation, I just try to be as nice as humanly possible, and I try to give multiple strikes. Like, if not even strikes, like I try to be so nice. Like, I'll let you be, like, just. Oh, I lost my train of thought there. It was right on the end of the tongue.
Yeah. So you're nice. I mean, like you're the nicest kid I know. You're the nicest ref I
Sorry,
know
when
there.
it comes, sorry, I lost that. When it comes, when people are getting in an argument with me, I just try to be nice, and I try to give them the opportunity to apologize and just keep on playing. Because when it comes down to that, apologies go the longest way with me.
Okay, well there you go.
We're Canadian too, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
sometimes it
Well,
doesn't mean sorries.
Yeah, and definitely like I'd like people to sort of kind of understand and realize it's just like how we sort of from like the sort of starting point of airsoft as the player, you know, if you think you got hit, you call your hit kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's tons of times where I'll sit there and it's like maybe it was a ricochet, but I got a pretty good ding, and it's just like I see a guy kind of there, and I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, all right. I'll question that, but I'll take that. So just like those kinds of situations where because you know, just go respawn, come back in. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
if a ref
maybe that guy's having a terrible day, and you just stack onto his problem, right?
Yeah.
or whatever it is, right? But like I'm saying, in that situation where you take it on yourself, sort of thing, you go from that step, just like a ref sort of coming up to you. It's just like there's no point in arguing if a ref's coming up to you. It's like whatever is said, and then accept it, and then move on. Don't try to sit there and dwell, just like getting frustrated over someone overshooting you or someone shooting you with something or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, um, that's sort of what I want to kind of get across is, take it upon yourself to sort of like deal with the problem. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What if you're the problem player and Gavin comes up to you? You know what?
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there too.
No. I'll flat out be
See,
someone to admit that
this
I've been
is
there. Gavin's come up to me and told me, "Hey, you've been camping here. I'm gonna be honest. Your gun's tricked out. It's not fair to the other side." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, no problem. It's kind of unfair that I got up to this point. I shouldn't have really got up here because they should have pushed past, but they never did. So I've been there. So I'll
so
take
what you're
myself."
doing is what you're doing is basically taking ownership of the issue, and Gavin's coming in to mitigate it and
Yeah, exactly. I want
respect
people
it,
to have
right?
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
You
if you're the
you want
type of
partners to
person
do
that
that.
don't want to respect that, then like I don't know what to say. If you like hurting people, then
Well, it's
you
kind
know
of like the end
the
of discussion. You
referee.
don't belong
Yeah,
there.
yeah. The
Well,
ref. This is where the referee steps in and be like, "Yo, dude,
It-
like,
Yeah. Oh, right. That's not the
like
way we do things.
like
Yeah.
Gavin, you would be more concerned about people's safety at that point, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%,
So that's why you're
100%.
stepping in. It's when a referee steps in, he sees an issue, then you as a player should take ownership of it and be like, okay, sorry, right? That's the number one thing. Like apologize, be like, okay, sorry. This thing might be a little bit hot. I'm gonna step back a bit. Something like that. Right? That's why we have like minimum engagements for snipers, DMRs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. When a
Remember,
referee comes in,
yeah.
yeah, when a referee comes in, concerned about everybody's safety,
I'm not trying to ruin your day.
He's not
Yeah,
ruining your day. He's just making sure that everybody's safe. Right?
And it's also having a good day.
Actually, and that's a good point too. You snipers. I don't know if you guys need a rangefinder, or a digital rangefinder, or something like that. But please, when we come up to you and say, "Can you please take 20 feet, back, or 20 steps back, or something like that," that you do that because um, we're watching, and some of you guys are pushing the limit sometimes, and we like to keep it as balanced as possible because you guys like to trick out your guns,
Yeah.
and no one likes getting shot, in the face and stuff like that. Some, mind you, it is personal decision to wear face masks and stuff like that, but some people don't, and it sucks.
And this is the final one. For people who don't like to follow the rules, who don't like, they get frustrated because, the referee's picking on them, and you don't like it, and you don't like, the rules, or you don't like getting, like looked at by macro attack because, you're either shooting too hot, you're arguing too much, you're arguing with players way too much, you're not respecting the rules. You could always go to another field or go to another game, right? Nothing's stopping you from going through it.
There's a lot of people that get the benefit of the doubt, and I would really like some people to sort of like understand that, because when the hammer starts falling, it's really going to be shocking to people because they've been sort of babied for so long, but they need to be reminded that Panther is a business, there is a bottom line, and if you interfere with that bottom line, you will, be removed.
Yeah. And as far as like the business goes, like, there are other airsoft fields out there, and if you like their rules, then stay with, go with them then. Like, we're not telling you to always come at the field, right? You could always go play at another field. That's not a problem. Again, you would have to
Or-
respect their rules as well.
No, come to our field. No.
Okay, okay,
Well,
Mac.
there's the other thing too. It's like if you're wanting that high caliber game, let's say you don't want to go and possibly pay these fees, maybe to go to some of these extra game modes that happen or whatnot. If you have a big enough group, of just you all own your own guns, call ahead, call Elliot, see if you can organize some sort of deal for a party or something like that, and go have your own private game.
Private
where-
referee.
Private
Exactly.
referee too. Yeah,
Exactly.
they're more than willing, right? A
Exactly.
business is running, and they'll
We'll
take your money for it, right? So there
Exactly.
you go.
Play with your whatever rules you want to play with. I've had some really dumb rules before where people people wanted to be full autoed on all the time. I'd be like, you guys are dumb, but okay,
Yeah,
that's
Pain's
all right.
like
Auto
at
and-
that
yeah.
point.
Full
Yeah.
auto, give up until you're hurting.
Yeah,
I've
I-
seen those before.
Exactly. I've
We're
seen some
not
pretty
condoning it, like we're not supporting that type of gameplay,
Yeah,
guys.
I've heard other
Not at all.
ones too where it's like
Yeah.
you knock on a building and that counts as a grenade. I was like, that's so dumb. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Well,
Yeah,
just we're gonna make fun of you for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone else want to add to sort of the like how to mitigate frustration and stuff at the field?
No, I mean, I think we
Um,
covered it with a pretty big.
Yeah, go ahead, Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin.
No, I was gonna say I think we've covered it pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take
It's a
micro
pretty broad
breaks.
brush, right?
You guys carry a lot of pouches on yourself. Bring a tack snack. Have a break in the middle of it. Have a Kit Kat or something.
Okay,
Water.
dude, mine.
know?
Yeah,
Hey,
I was about
water.
to say.
Okay, I see a lot of hydro packs,
Yeah.
and they're not filled with hydro.
One of my Smirsh like magazine pouches is just
Mhm.
water. That's
Yeah.
how important it is, right?
Uh-huh.
And then on my butt pack is an entire like canteen of water.
Oh, I
Right.
bet, right? Yeah.
Like I would use that.
Rock a Camelback, 100%.
Yeah,
you know?
and,
Yeah, buddy's rocking a camel pack and a tank in there instead. He's like, no, I don't need the water. Water's for bitches. Like, oh my god.
and then proceeds to get mad 10 minutes later into
Yes,
the game.
I've
Not
seen
cool
those.
enough.
Yeah, right? Like, hey man, I think there's another reason why you're not having fun. Why?
They're not calling their hits, bro.
Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
Anyways, that's our discussion right there for
Mhm.
for heat management for Panther. Bottom line, for our discussion here, understandably, it's like an expensive sport to get into, and it's also an expensive sport for other people as well. And then if you're not having if you're not cooperating and not having fun, and you go out there ruining someone else's day that they paid for, then they're not having fun as well. So respect that
Yeah.
in a way that because think of yourself being on the other side of the receiving end of that, right? We all share the same field and the same hobby, so respect each other. And then as well, above all else, there's this, let's go back to basics, right? Airsoft is a sport that's based on an honor system, right? Call your hits, respect others, and it's
Well-
supposed to be fun.
Mhm.
Exactly. I was about to say we're all out here to have fun.
Yeah.
So
And the referees do a good job of that.
Exactly. You need to quash that sort of like self-entitlement sort of thing based off of the amount of money that you spend in the hobby or sport. That
Yep.
sort of like ranks you instead of elitism kind of thing. It's the brownie points, mind
Well, a
you.
lot of people think they're a lot better than they are, right? They're all like, no, they couldn't possibly have shot me. I am this good at airsoft, okay? This good. I'm this good. I have all this real stuff, and there's no way. And it's like, dude.
Mhm.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Hey, now.
Yeah. Well, you just want to quash that. Remember, it's about having fun, spirit of the game. That's the main thing that refs try to do. So when refs come up to you and talk with you, just remember that it's for the spirit of the game. Especially like for me, my whole main angle is flow of the game. So if I'm coming up to you, it's because I want the game to be flowing in a certain way, because I want everyone to be having fun. I like throwing challenges out there. If you don't like it, that's okay. Step out of the game. There's going to be another ref coming up on the next game, kind of thing. But when I out there, that's my style. So
Yeah. What about you, Mac? What about you have any bottom lines or conclusions to this?
Well, I mean, yeah, like I mean, I'm the same way as Tack right there. At the end of the day, it's about like, just trying to like make sure that the game and everyone, like the people, the community is having fun and stuff like that, and obviously, elements always add variations and variables to the thing and everything. Yeah, like I listed, right? It's like you got the weather, you got the turnout, you got the gameplay and everything. So, you know, Panther being one of the bigger fields, you definitely have the opportunity to have a much larger game. If you're interested in having the smaller games, go out to Ambush, go out to Bigfoot, pretty
Join
sure their player.
ASG. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure, like it's a lot like we it's kind of hard to argue that like having a smaller group is a lot easier to manage, right? So,
Yeah,
you
we're
know, of
catering for
course.
all, not for small people.
Exactly, right?
Correct.
So like when you have like 100 something, like I think the most we've ever had is like something like 200 and 200 plus, like it's just like,
well,
it's kind of daunting, but you try your best to kind of like make sure everyone's having a good time, everyone's following the rules, and when you get to those numbers, the games that big, you kind of just have to let everyone sling BBs because uh nobody cares anymore about anything. It's just about slinging BBs at that point. So
As long as you're
you
having
just kind
fun,
of,
though.
yeah, as long as you give them a time limit and kind of like mark out some boundaries and stuff, and
and speaking of which, like Poya was saying about ASG, that we recently just went to another night games that happened
mhm,
on the Friday there. I had a lot of fun.
yeah,
Um, just my only thing for it was that it didn't have as many numbers as the first one. Obviously, things happen. One of the goals and wishes is that the night game group kind of grows, just because.
mhm,
Not hating on the guys in the group, but a lot of them are from like the older generation, or the guys who are 10, 20 years older than us, kind of thing. And we like to sort of refresh the pot, as I would like to phrase, because sometimes gameplay can kind of get stagnant. You know what I mean? Because certain people play in a certain fashion. That's why we always start off with a warm-up game and then kind of go on from there, right? So I had a lot of fun. My favorite one is definitely the lights game. So
yeah,
for people who are out there and hear about this, come out, because it's a lot of fun. If you've never tried that style of game before, it's really, really cool. If not, Sneaky Pete also is a favorite game mode, and that's something that I really enjoy. Sometimes it sucks. The other team's got nods. I only got a flashlight. I'll stick by that. So that's how I play. Naked and afraid, baby.
Yeah, back to the topic. Gavin, do you have anything to add for just the bottom line of
Yeah,
this?
at the end of the day, everyone is there to have fun
mhm,
and to be having a good day. Everyone wants a memorable day out of it, right? They want to remember, oh yeah, that's Sunday at Panther. That was great. Um, that's also like I want games to be smooth. It makes it so much easier. People
yeah.
listen and makes yeah.
Yeah. Do you have
Um,
any sort of requests from our audience into like how to make it much more smooth, or how to make your life easier, like life improvements for as
as
a ref?
simple as it gets, come to the game speech when I call. I do 3 calls, guys. 3 calls. They're 2 minutes apart. That's
Hmm.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes. You guys
Well,
can do it. When you
exactly.
get in from that last game, start filling your mags. Don't wait until I call to start getting ready for the game.
Mhm,
All
mhm.
right?
Exactly. A
If
lot
you
of
need to
prep
take a
and stuff.
game out, take a game out. I have no problem with that. It helps so much when everyone's up at the beginning. I can make sure everyone understands the rules. I can make sure the teams are properly balanced. And yeah.
Exactly. My take on that is like, do that, because then Gavin doesn't have to be focusing his energy on trying to explain to you what he sort of explained to everyone at the beginning. He can focus on, managing the game. and stuff like
That and thinking of better games to run next. If I'm having to deal with problems the whole game, I don't think of the game I'm gonna run next.
You're just
If
thinking
I
of how to resolve that problem.
correct.
Mhm.
If I'm out there and I have like if everyone's just playing normal, right? It makes it so easy and I can come up with more complex games that are good for our group of people that day.
Mhm.
There you go.
Exactly.
Like, you're human
I can
too.
modify
Yeah,
them.
you're human too, and you're having to deal with the frustrations that you're faced there. So, the easier, the smoother it is from everybody else, the better you could run it.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps up that portion of heated arguments at the field and how to mitigate it, or how to
Mhm.
sort of prevent it. Yeah, some advice from Gavin there. There's some pretty good advice. Again, Gavin, and all the other refs that we have at Panther, do a hard they do like a tremendous job trying to manage people, and make these big games happen, but it requires the players' cooperation. And if you don't want to cooperate with that, then we don't know what to say. It's just a little bit difficult to manage at that point. Anyways, let's move on here. I think that pretty much wraps it up for that one. I'd like to mention Prairie Dog. I guess we haven't featured him in
Couple
our
episodes.
in our episodes here, but Prairie Dog, thank you for that video. That was a good insight to
It sort of helped continue the conversation we were having.
Yeah.
Like,
and it gives
was
us sort of a view of what's actually happening at the field.
Exactly. And I can say that everything I saw in that video, I can definitely relate to because I have been there. So
Yeah, and
that's what hit home to me watching that video.
And again, don't base one single video, one single day, and that one single hour. Don't base
Mhm.
that on the experience you're gonna get at Panther overall,
Yeah,
because this is
exactly.
only just like a small little issue that happened on that certain day.
It was a hot day, man. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Like,
Yeah.
30
like-
degrees.
like I was dying in
Over
the
30,
store,
yeah.
man. Like I was standing in there and it was.
I wouldn't know.
Wait.
It was hotter at Clinton, BC when I was there, so I was on vacation mode too. So
And you guys were wearing denim. Jeez.
well, it's a good photo op. Yeah, we'd like to thank Prairie Dog again. That's PRA1 dog. Now, let me switch the cameras here so you guys can see the channel. So here is his. Why did he put a 1 there?
I'm assuming that the name was just taken. You know, he was just trying to be edgy. You know, Leet was so 2000. You know,
Yeah.
pretty.
So there it is. That's how you
content.
spell it. PRA1RIE dog.
Yeah. Our lovely man there, Prairie Dog.
He's almost at 1,000 subs. Wow.
Heck, yeah, man.
Heck
Keep
yeah.
it up.
Keep it up, man. And he's got a lot of videos out here, so take a look. Some of them are very memey.
He's definitely entertaining. Definitely. I like his content.
He is probably the next House Gamers. We'll see.
Next to, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
we'll see. Yeah, thank you for that. Let's see here. Other than that, what is it? Next week is what? BC Day long weekend? It's already middle of the summer.
Mhm.
Is it what we would call the middle of the summer? I would say it's the
Yeah,
almost
we're
end of
about to
summer.
transition
We're
into,
right
into August here.
Like I know with the way it feels like the middle of the summer, but you know, if we follow the calendar, I think we're coming into fall here pretty soon.
Oh, fall
What?
airsoft is like the best though.
No, what did you just say? Dude, it's about to be August.
Yo, man, I look
Is
at
that
August.
fall to you?
Yeah, I treat that
Is
as
that
fall.
fall to you?
Where is your chair, Mac?
Boy, throw the chair. I'll run upstairs, man. Like, what is this
You
guy
had
saying?
the opportunity last week to do it. You were
Well, I
literally
didn't wanna-
6 feet.
Yeah, but I
from
didn't
him.
want to break the camera or the table or like.
Step another 6 feet back
Yeah.
and
alright,
then
alright.
engage.
I mean, I'll deal with this later. This guy just literally. I mean, I don't know. If anyone's still listening, please. I can't be the only one who's gonna be all like, "What the heck did he just say?" You just said fall in August, bro.
Let's
Fall.
30
Oh.
degrees and leaves falling.
Hey, let me just say this.
You're
then,
right,
okay?
Gavin.
What?
It's not the middle.
It's like you saying like a flashlight's better than NVGs. Episode 1.
Whoa,
Changed my
whoa, whoa!
mind.
We all know, Mac, that
We proved this.
you proved this yourself.
Yeah.
That you had a flashlight and you defeated guys with night vision.
No. I was having fun. It sucked, when they could, like straight
He
up.
changed his words.
Yeah, I'm not saying it defeats night vision. Like to
Alright.
say that would be ignorant.
Boy,
But,
this is
like,
why I
oh
don't
God, I don't even want to get into this right now. Like, there's nobody left watching anyway, so it's okay.
Being that it's BC Day long weekend, guys, Panther is gonna be open for Saturday and Sunday only. There's no Monday game, so
sorry.
sorry. But it is gonna be a big turnout. So if you are planning to come in at Panther, please come in early. Parking lot's probably gonna be full. Guarantee you. Historically,
Still, yeah, online waivers.
online waivers.
please.
Historically, BC Day has been the busiest for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be a huge game. So hopefully, I don't know if you want to do any sneak peek there, Gavin, but you guys gonna have any special games or anything like that? Or any...
Mac and I may do some planning ahead. We'll
Ooh.
think about that after.
And that requires people's cooperation by showing up to the game speech.
Yes, sir.
So that's coming up this weekend. Also, my birthday coming up on the 1st as well. So it's always a fun weekend.
Woot.
We have anything else here? Did you actually one thing that came up? Did you guys see the I don't know if you guys saw the newsletter from Trigger, but did you guys see the Action Army?
You're talking about the pistol that got sold out within an hour?
Oh my!
Oh, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, let me just transition here, guys. So this pistol right here was selling at Trigger. How much were they selling it for? Do you guys know?
I think it was like I think it was 150, 175. It's
So they
under
got-
$200.
So they got that black model, and then they got that desert model.
I don't even think the black model made it to the store. As far as I understand, the black model was already sold out.
Oh
and
my
the only thing
gosh!
left was
This
the
gives me
tan.
such 007 vibes.
I know.
Well, it's cool.
Look at the
because
accessories, though.
It's
I-
blowback.
yeah, I know.
And it shoots out and like the little stock on it and everything. And here's the cool thing too is I've seen people in the community make these things quiet as heck.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
it's a blowback. It'll rival the MK23 in my opinion,
Yep.
and it's
I'm-
blowback.
I'm happy to see where it's gonna go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure we're gonna see a bunch of people with this on a weekend.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
well,
And
I
if you did
definitely-
modify it, we're gonna chrono you.
well,
Hey, you'll be the first one.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna probably have someone come in and show me.
Did it actually sell out? Like I was planning on going down to Trigger. Like,
Yeah, it was gone.
oh
like,
my
instantly.
god.
If you check the comments, everyone was infuriated. One guy was like, "Dude, I saw it, and then by lunchtime, what the heck, man?"
I just saw the newsletter like yesterday, and I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, I guess I'll go down to the brick and mortar store and buy it. Nope. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, because one guy shared it in one of the groups I was in, and he was just like, "They just posted this, and it's already sold out. What the heck?"
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like-
it's nice to see products like these come out in our end here, and it excites the community, right? I'm sure we're gonna see it on the weekend. Everyone's gonna be testing it out, and then we'll be like, "You lucky son of a gun! Where did you get this?"
Yeah, I definitely would love to be able to get my hands on it. And it's a really cool thing too, because if it's something that's going to be continuously coming out, and this is why I want to get my hands on it and test it, because it would definitely be something I would suggest to someone in the community once I go through the whole testing factor of it, obviously, because of the factor of its cost. It's a very budget-oriented gun,
Sure.
and from what I've seen, it performs really nicely. Pair it with like a
Quality,
pistol
yeah.
for a flamingo bucking, and you're dealing with another deadly beast on the field.
So congrats to the people that got it. Damn you as well.
I'm with you on that. Anyone who got the black one, I'm looking at you cold in the eyes.
All right.
Just don't have enough guns already.
Hey, I need more. Okay.
Don't we all?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's airsoft.
That's
All right.
cool.
I think that closes it right there. Thank you to Gavin for
Mm.
filling
Yeah,
in here,
thank you,
and putting his input as a referee, a senior ref
Yeah.
at Panther.
Mhm.
It's always great to see the other side of, you know, topics being, you know, said from the referee side, because, you know, most of the time we just hear it from the player side, you know, and, you know, it's just frustration. You know what Tack was saying there, small things become big things, and it escalates when the weather is hot. So
Yeah, it just stacks up.
and we've provided you guys some advice there on how to mitigate it, you know, and we've also provided, you know, you guys with, you know, Gavin's point of view, how to deal with it as well, and what makes it easier for him to sort of, you know, like not take it too far, and yeah, just show up for the game speech. I think we've said that multiple times. Son.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
they'll get it. Maybe they'll
Yeah,
get it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what I would like to say is if you've ever hid in a bush and sweat has dropped down to your eye and you've given away your position, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
All right, and with that, we are gonna sign off. This is Poi, and we got Mac up there, and we got Tack down there, and I would like to thank Gavin once again, and you can say goodbye there.
Thank you, Gavin.
Goodbye.
All right, see you guys later.